Yes, welcome to the Super 8, the Super 8 Cine Society.
Yes.
And we're here with my good self, Miles Flanagan, founder of Hollywood Horror Fest, Boobs and Blood, and now the Super 8 Cine Society. And we have three of the members here. And do you want to, we'll go through. So
yeah you go. I am Jared Gooey Boy Carlson. I love melting men and anything that melts. And that's the only reason I'm here. I love just melting.
I'm Sean Sardi. I help Miles out wherever I can, and I'm here because I'd like to see this version of Melting Man that I've never seen before.
I'm Mike Davis, and I left my membership card here the last time, so I need it back, or else I might not be able to get in again. Thank you, Miles.
All right, well, we've got that. It's on the shelf around the corner. And during this podcast, we may be interrupted by one of the many cats wandering around the theatre. I say theatre, it's converted living room. Shh, it's a theatre. So what we're going to screen tonight is, over the period of these podcasts, these incredible Super 8 digests. If you don't know what they are, I've actually got one in my hand for Incredible Melting Man. In the old days, way before video, the only way to watch your favorite movie, if you missed it at the cinema or you watched it at the cinema and you wanted to see it again, was usually as a cut down Super 8 version. And if you had the money, you could buy like a 400 foot version, which is about 16 to 80 minutes long, of your favorite film. And the box art is really nice. How big would you say this box is? Like, what's that? How many inches?
7?
About 7 by 7 inches. Nice box. Opens up, and that's where the spool would be. So what we're going to do, we're going to screen this version, this 16-minute cut down of The Incredible Melting Man. The print is a bit red. Surprisingly, a lot of these prints are actually still really good quality, depending on the film stock.
Yeah.
And what year was this film?
This film is,
77. It came out December 9th. So, I mean, that's the only reason why people talk about Star Wars more than this film, obviously, because Star Wars, of course, came out in May. And unfortunately, people were talking about Star Wars, and they couldn't talk about the good, gooey, melty man.
I mean, I'm curious, like, we know what kind of theaters Star Wars played in. What kind of theaters, if theaters at all, did this play in?
I'd imagine it'd be mostly theaters like...
You're imagining.
Imagining?
Well, yes, we don't need imagination here. We need facts.
Oh, well. This did have a theatrical release, so I'm assuming that it would be... I mean, obviously, this film was meant for more, like... They were trying to get, like, teens going to see, like, kind of the monster matinee thing. It's not a super serious thing, so... I'm assuming, like, drive-ins would...
Okay, I'm the only one here who saw it when it came out.
Yeah.
I wasn't born yet.
Keep in mind, Miles is from the United Kingdom, so this may not apply to everyone. Yeah.
No, I saw it at the... I saw it at the ABC chain, which there were two big cinema chains in the 70s, 60s, 70s, up to the 80s before Golan Globus took over the ABC chain and turned it into Canon. But there were two big chains. There was the Odeon chain, which was a rank organization, and then there was the ABC cinema chain, which was the EMI chain. And this was part of a double bill with the film Savage Bees. So Savage Bees was a kind of strange movie. It wasn't anything like the bonkers quality of Melting Man. They were both certificate AA, which at the time was more like a 15, which is surprising because the amount of gore and blood and violence and nudity in Melting Man, I don't know why it was a AA equivalent to a 15. I think it was just so it could be a double bill. But it played at the I think it was the Odeon, the local Odeon. So I saw it in a big theater with a big crowd of kids. Me and all my mates, we all got in. I don't think we were old enough, but it didn't matter because there was no IDs in those days.
How old were you supposed to be?
For AA, I think 15, something like that. So I think it was 15. No, it was 14. 14 for AA.
So AA means what? Nudity?
I don't know. Obviously,
Adult action.
honestly, there was absolutely
Smoking.
no difference between a.
Oh, they wouldn't care for smoking back in the day. They'd just be like, "Oh, that's another Tuesday."
I'm sure Miles probably was smoking
Yeah.
in the theater.
It did actually. I read that it actually did really well at the box office, especially compared to its budget. But obviously, the reviews weren't positive. But
And you see why when you watch it.
not when you see
I love the film.
Melty Man.
I love it.
Well, we'll get back. We'll get to that near the end.
I would imagine here it played in theaters like probably on 42nd Street when they were still mixing porno with
Yeah, I don't know.
with regular first.
It was
run
American
films
International, so
Yeah.
drive-ins and wherever they.
drive-ins and like whatever city you lived in, sort of the sleazy row of theater,
Or if you live,
second-run theaters.
or if you lived like outside, maybe that one theater you're not supposed to go to in your small town.
Yep.
I mean, it was a popular film
Yeah.
in the UK, and it had 2 paperback tie-ins. There were 2, both. I don't know who the publisher was. I sold them at Monster Palooza, but anyhow, they had 2 really nice paperback
Not a
tie-ins.
sponsor.
It got a lot of publicity. It was, I mean, horror films were few and far between when I was a kid going to the cinema. So this one was, I mean, it was a big deal, and it was Rick Baker doing the special effects.
Yes,
Oh.
yes.
Yeah,
I have
all that kind of stuff. So,
Rick Baker, known for such films as 1987 Summer School,
okay, and I know he did another big film.
My Science
That's
Project,
it.
yes,
That's
by
it.
Jonathan
Yeah,
R.
that's what we know
Buell,
him
yes,
for. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah, nothing with werewolves or
He
zombies.
did not do Star Wars.
No. Did he?
yes, he did.
Oh shit.
So 77 was a huge year for Baker.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I mean, this is like at the start of his career where he really just starts taking off. But really, I mean, nothing beats My Science Project.
What was your science project?
It was a film.
Oh, talking about science projects, I always look on eBay for any merch or spin-off merchandise.
Did you find the children's costume for this film?
No, but the makeup kit.
Oh, you found the makeup kit.
The
There
makeup
was a
kit is
children's costume.
insane.
Yes.
So they had a makeup kit for Incredible Melting Man. It's got a fantastic box, and inside it was just a bunch of crappy makeup, and you just.
This was like a gimmick, like a.
It was a toy.
Yeah.
It was a toy. It was a tie-in, merch.
It's like finding out the Toxic Avenger had
Yeah,
a cartoon.
but the makeup
Again,
is-
another weird relation to Star Wars. I mean, Star Wars, made doing that famous,
Yeah, really.
but these guys were doing it too.
Yeah.
And there was I haven't seen photos of it, but there was a children's costume.
I think I've seen a mask, but it looks nothing like.
What was it? Was it one of those that has the plastic smock that says what you are and it has a picture?
No, I've
of
only
the
seen the
character?
mask,
You've only seen the mask.
and I've
Did it
seen
have a
people
rubber
selling
band?
it as Incredible Melting Man mask, but it looks nothing like. But as I'm saying this, that means it must be an official thing. Because in those days, looking nothing like what it was meant to be was no big deal.
I mean, look at
like
the
Planet of
original.
Apes
The original
masks.
Star Wars figures weren't super
Yeah.
similar.
Yeah.
But this film also has Rob Bottin helping out with effects. He's not credited, and he would go on to do The Fog, The Howling, The Thing, Legend, RoboCop. Also the Twilight Zone film, but we don't talk about that one.
All right.
It's not that good, is it?
I think you may be way too close to your mouth. So have
God.
it down here. Pin it down there.
Pin it down here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It just might be when it was right there. It may be.
Right there.
Okay. Do you want to talk again?
Talking. How are my levels?
Good,
So,
good.
Talking. Your
Talking,
levels.
talking,
I think your
good,
levels
good.
were way.
Testing.
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 Okay, Mike.
Yeah. Too loud?
No, it's fine. Charlie.
Hello.
Normal voice. Come on.
Testing. Hi, how you doing? Doing well. How
That's
are
too
you?
quiet. You don't talk that level.
Hi, how you doing? I don't
Okay.
know how I talk anymore.
Hey, what's up? How you doing? Tell me about the
Yours
melting
is
boy.
way the loudest.
Yeah, because I'm a loud boy. I'm excited about the melting man.
All right.
Hold on. Let me get it down. Let me get.
All right. We'll just pause them for a minute. Oh, why is this one?
How's
So-
this? I lowered it even more.
So I don't know if I found the Melting Man costume.
That looks like it. Yeah, it has the smock.
Yeah,
Simple.
found it. The Melting Man costume,
Oh wow.
where you can also get the Deep. where it just says the deep.
Are we still recording, Miles?
Yeah, we're still recording. Yours
Okay.
was very high, so okay.
He's got the highest quality mic.
Clearly,
That's quality, yeah.
I
favorite.
lowered
Alright,
it.
so-
I lowered it even more.
Wait, I do have a trivia question.
Hmm.
So obviously, this film owes some debt to the incredible Shrinking Man.
Yes.
which was about 20 years prior to this release. Can you guys name any other The Incredible blank
Strange
movies?
Monsters.
No. Movies with that title, The Incredible.
Something.
Well, I can think of the incredibly strange mixed up creatures.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I was gonna say that one.
but
What about the 50-foot tall woman? Was that the Incredible?
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
no.
Attack of the 50-foot tall.
Oh, Attack.
There's a lot of Attack of.
Attack of the Star Wars. That was my
The
favorite.
Star Wars.
What about there wasn't the Incredible Transparent Man, or is that the Amazing?
Oh, what? Yeah, there was an incredible 3D or 4D Man or something, or Transparent Man. Yeah, it rings a bell.
And the Incredible Shrinking Woman, of course, which
Yeah,
Um,
Lily Tomlin.
Comic books.
Yeah.
Comic book wise, the Incredible Hulk.
that counts.
There
It
you
counts.
go.
It was
You
around.
did it.
And the Incredibles.
Yeah.
Way later, but yeah.
But we digress.
Yeah.
But
Okay, so should we?
One
Play
more
the
question,
film?
Miles.
One
Just
more.
a general question. Why did they put out these shortened versions of these reels? They condensed a full-length movie
Because it
into-
was cheap. Because a full-length feature would cost you hundreds.
But
it was
who
expensive.
was buying it? What was
Everyone.
the purpose of this?
It was before VHS, so people would buy these before VHS. Like I was saying, there was this is what you'd watch. In fact, 416 to 80 minutes. There were 200-foot versions. I used to have a 200-foot version of Superman, believe it or not. So you're talking about 8 minutes. 8 minutes. That's short. That's shorter than the opening credits. I can't remember how long they were. It was kind of long. And so in many cases, people would they would watch these, and just it was the closest you got to having a feature film. And you forget what a big deal it was when VHS first came out. To say you owned a feature film was insane. I remember when VHS came out, and the only titles were available were like The Godfather. Was it Godfather? Saturday Night Fever. There was just a few titles, about 3 or 4, and they cost like $100 and something pounds or dollars. They were really expensive.
And I remember video discs too, which were maybe even
Yeah.
the laser disc.
Well, you can get feature films. I've got a lot of feature films now I've been collecting.
on Super 8.
On Super 8. They're very stressful.
But how many reels is that?
Oh, that can be 5, 6, 7, 8 reels.
Yeah.
They can be really
So
long.
that's really the purpose of these one reelers, is that people were watching them at home at
Just at
parties
home.
or whatever, and it was like it's just easier to deal with one reel.
Not just easy, it was cheaper because
Yeah.
you're talking about hundreds of dollars as opposed to like $20. And I remember one of my birthdays, my parents rented these. You could rent these.
Mm.
And this was one that was rented for my birthday. They rented this and Omen 2, Damien Omen 2.
Nice.
And often they're the best bits because, you don't necessarily want to, sometimes you don't want to watch the whole movie. In a way, YouTube's catching up, isn't it, where people do cut downs.
Yeah.
You don't want to watch the whole movie, you just want highlights. And so what great, you watch the highlights of The Omen and you get David Warner having his head cut off and all the cool bits.
Hey, no spoilers.
I have to ask, do we get to see the journal eat the turkey leg in this cut?
I don't know. I haven't seen it since I was about 12
boy.
or 14.
Okay.
Or
Well,
whatever
I'm
age I was.
jazzed to see that turkey leg. I tell you what.
I have something to add to this.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Oh, boy.
So
Are
this
we
is-
ever going to watch the bloody film?
I don't know.
No,
Fine, we
I'm
can
interested.
start.
I'm interested.
So okay, just rip my heart out, won't you?
Yeah.
Anyway,
I love you,
this
baby.
is this is technically a remake of a '57 movie called The First Man from Outer Space.
Oh, yes.
Into
Well,
space.
well,
First
Do
Man
you
into
know
space.
this, or you just happened to look at your phone?
I actually knew about it a little before this.
Yeah, I
happened,
saw you
and
looking
I
at your
forgot
phone.
about it,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
I remembered.
We need a no phone policy. for
No
the
phone
next-
policy.
no-
It should
for
just
the
be
next,
based on.
Yeah.
But having
Fine,
said
fine,
that,
fine.
yeah, I remember that's the one with the actor who was
Yes, that one
Daktari.
Jack Tar?
Yeah, Daktari,
Put
the
your phone
TV
down.
series.
Yeah. This is why I printed out my little notes about.
Yeah, and you're cheating too, and me and Mike are just Access
We're
to
winging
memories.
it totally.
Listen,
Yeah, winging it.
I can tell you things like Alex Rebar, who plays the Incredible Melting Man, went on to create the wonderful series of short films called Sex, Pain, and Murder. Each episode is 4 minutes long because that's all you need.
Sex, Pain, and Murder?
Sex, Pain, and Murder?
Sounds like one of your projects. Sounds like my night.
Just driving around. Just
Yeah.
Nope,
I don't know anything about any of those three.
No.
Well, I'm happy for
But
you.
anyway,
For the
First
first
Man
two-
in Space.
Yeah.
I looked at this. Okay, is directed by Robert Day. Do you know what he directed?
Robert Day. Rings a bell.
He directed it.
Give us a clue. Don't
Nightmare
tell
on
me.
Elm Street.
It's a TV series that was made into a movie with Sean Connery in the 90s.
Zoltan.
TV
Design
series
tour.
Sean Connery in the 90s.
No, that was made
Wild
into a movie.
Wild West.
That was made into a movie in the 90s with
The
Sean
Untouchables.
Connery in it.
Oh, Sean Connery's not in
Oh, The
that.
Untouchables.
Yeah, no. The Avengers.
Oh,
He directed
Yeah.
some of the Avengers.
Yeah, he was a big TV guy.
Oh,
This
of course,
original
because it's
director.
British. Yes.
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, and it starred. Oh, what was he called? Marshall Thompson.
So
Yeah.
Marshall Thompson. Yes.
nice.
Memory of an old dude.
You know
That's
who
my
else was
next
a big
project.
TV guy?
Yeah.
Burr DeBinning, who plays Dr. Ted Nelson.
Oh,
in
Ted
this
Nelson.
film.
I love that name, Ted Nelson.
He was essentially, from what I saw in my lengthy research, most of his career he was a day player for a lot of television shows.
Yeah.
So lots of like one episode credits.
Yeah.
But my God, he has like 90 something credits. So
It's nothing compared to Eric Roberts. But, yeah.
Robert Day has like 90 credits as well.
yeah.
But
Listen,
anyway,
man, they're working out.
And it's pretty. No, the what's the film called? The astronaut one, First Man in
First Man
Space.
to Space.
Yeah, I remember that was there was a still of that was used in every horror sci-fi book when I was a kid, and it was a charred face of an astronaut. It was pretty graphic for a late 50s film. Is it like 59?
57.
57. Yeah, that was kind of a turning. But 57 is an interesting year in horror and sci-fi because you actually look at a lot of films. Yeah, wow, look at that. Seen that, Mike? That picture.
This is what he looked like.
That's a
First
crispy
Man to
boy.
Space.
57, you were getting like Curse of Frankenstein, films like that, where you were seeing, hands cut off, chopped, you're seeing gore, blood, all this kind of stuff. But yet you go forward then a few more years, and the censors were cutting down on that shit. Like you weren't getting the same amount of blood and the same amount of gore in the 60s as you were, especially in the UK, as you were in that period, just where they weren't sure, and so they were getting away with shit.
And 57 was a huge year here for horror movies. I mean, I mentioned Incredible Shrinking Man. I think that was that year, and all of those great
I Was a Teenage
classic.
Werewolf.
I Was a Teenage
Yeah,
Werewolf,
yeah.
because that was the dawn of teenage culture in the United States and I guess elsewhere. But that was Elvis, and that was
Yeah.
and
rock and roll,
and the big horror film of the 57, Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Yes.
Hey, what about The Incredible Melting Elvis? That would be a great movie, wouldn't it?
That's
And he's walking around with an Elvis outfit
too
on.
real.
that
Too
came
real,
out
man.
a couple years ago.
Came out in like 70.
Yeah.
I just got that.
Thank you.
All right, should we run the projector?
Yeah,
I think
this.
we've done preamble one.
Which okay, we could be setting ourselves up for disaster because the film hasn't been run. I got it on eBay, and the people who sent it on the reel, it was spooled sort of backwards,
and
so we had to spool it, rewind it, and
It's
sort of in the wrong way. Anyhow, it's
I assisted in fixing it by eating two little bags of potato chips.
okay. All ready?
I
I'm
shine
going
my
to press
flashlight.
play on the projector.
here we go.
Oh boy.
With special
Rick
effects made
Baker.
by Rick Baker.
Yay!
Scorpio 5, I'm getting control. Good in 1 minute. Roger. Scorpio 5, this is Houston Control. Communication back. Can you read me?
I love that
I
they
read you.
got a real space capsule to film this in.
Yeah, not a fridge.
Magnificent. You've never seen anything until you've seen the sun through the rings of Saturn.
I think it's actually a dumpster. There's Rick Baker in action. That might be public domain.
Tom Savini died.
He had jam on in his mouth.
Shouldn't need a peanut butter and jelly sandwich on a flight.
Nothing's helping. Never seen anything like it. I'm the only one that survived.
I don't know. I just work here.
It's imperative that this be kept secret.
That's in focus, isn't it? As good as it gets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
Got it. I got it.
Okay.
he got it.
I got it.
All right. So what do we? He's.
That strap is not attached to anything.
Oh my god, it isn't.
Oh no. So he's not. He's melting now, isn't he?
Oh.
Yeah, he got the radiation.
Oh gosh.
Fox
Imagine
psoriasis.
I'm just imagining if he was actually melting, he wipes that, his skin just comes off.
He's taking his bandages off. For all you viewers out
He's
there,
invisible.
listeners.
The money shot.
He still has the
Oh.
mustache, thank God.
The
Yeah.
stash will survive.
He doesn't look that bad.
Now, I've seen worse.
Just get some chicken noodle soup. You'll be fine.
Oh. Blow your nose.
Oh, that's not nice. He's throwing stuff. I
Speaking
always
of,
like it how he stuck to his nose.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
bandage.
speaking of the Hulk,
They gave him a lot of marshmallows to eat.
well, he's earned them after being melted in space. You dropped all the
yeah.
blood.
Oh, it's this famous.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
They cut
Special
it down.
effects.
They cut it way down.
Rick Baker in
Because
action.
she's like all the way down at the end of the hall.
Don't run through the glass.
Oh.
Shit.
Now they gotta repair that.
He's not a nice man, is he? He's
No.
a bad man.
Very bad man.
Nasty man.
Awful man.
A melty man.
Oh, God. The face has disappeared.
Don't quote me, but this wasn't any animal.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
good to know that this was a
She's
15,
no longer
a
smart.
double A.
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
quote you that this wasn't an animal.
The same set from the China Syndrome.
Might
It's
be.
about Steve. Escaped.
I miss the days when anyone could have an afro.
After warning myself,
It's a pretty sweet afro too.
I'll let you keep the blue.
What I love about this film is that the US military, their response
Find him.
to this crazy monster,
Okay, those effects are cool when he's walking. It's just
no, the response is to send one man.
Yeah.
Is he a major?
No.
Colonel?
He's a doctor.
Huh?
Dr. Ted Nelson.
No, and he's the military. we're talking
Oh,
about.
they send one guy, but then he eats turkey.
Yeah, is he a major? Or
You're really on that.
That's
He's
it.
he's a general. I
No,
think.
he's a general.
Oh, he is a general. Yeah.
The locations are great.
Yeah, this hospital is located in this weird industrial area.
Yeah, I don't know if they fit. Through.
Oh, fantastic. That's all we want.
Is that a beat?
Oh, they cut out
The
the
head.
kill. It's just the head.
Yeah, the
Oh,
head
Here we go.
floating.
Yeah.
Here's the money shot. Rick Baker.
Whitewater rafting.
No, did they cut the money
no.
shot?
I think they did. But at least we got the eye coming out. And they cut her calling him a pissant.
Yeah.
If this movie makes
Brr.
sense in the full length version, it is not making sense now.
It's funny, like. Yeah.
Why would you cut the bit out where the head lands on the rock,
And
smashes?
splits. I don't
Why,
know,
why
that's
are
the
they
best part.
assuming he's
It is
radioactive?
the part.
Oh, he's radioactive here. Oh, this is the best bit.
Oh, a babe.
Oh, the
What was her name? Rainbow Smith?
I don't think
Martin
so.
Scorsese.
Maybe it was.
Oh, just rewind this bit.
Okay. Hand on her.
Again, good to know that this was a double A.
Yeah.
And not R rating.
yeah. Definitely not R-rated.
Definitely not.
Totally not.
Oh, man who's melted. I love those snakes giving each other the eyes.
They're about to
Because
kiss.
at the same time, any film in the UK that was released that was about devil worship would automatically be an X-rated.
Oh, yeah,
film.
because we gotta save the kids from Satanism.
Yeah.
So Devil's Reign would just be automatic X.
Yeah.
That's funny to me.
I think that would, yeah.
I mean, honestly, I don't think you should really censor. Boobs aren't that offensive, depending on the context. But
It's not offensive. It's,
Yeah.
it's
But
erotic.
It's tittillating.
Sex isn't offensive.
It
I
can
mean, depends who you're talking to, man.
No, it really
I know what you're
does.
saying. Yeah, that's what you're saying. It's not offensive. Oh, hold on. This is
I
the
think
sad
that guy
bit.
Oh,
ended
the
up on
slow-mo
Melrose
far
Place.
away shot.
Is that
Oh.
a nuclear bomb?
What's his name, the character?
The main character?
Yeah, the melting man. What's his name?
Oh, I just wrote down the Incredible Melting Man, but it's like, what is it?
Steve
Steve.
Steve Stooke.
West.
Oh,
Steve West.
stop
Steve
looking
West.
at your phone, you naughty boy.
You want notes? God!
Hey,
damn
look,
it.
no, we're finding out how he became the melting man. He looked at stock footage of the sun.
Even though we just saw it like not even 5 minutes ago.
that's what he saw.
Well, the full length film was probably longer.
No, I know. It was like probably like what, 30 minutes?
So, what do we think of the special effects here, the makeup?
They're great.
They're
I
great.
think they're great.
They
Yeah.
are. Like that's the highest point of the movie that I'll give it. Anyway.
I wonder if this version's good. Oh, the couple.
I
Is that the old couple?
Yes.
I
So was
think
their car, but we cut it.
Rick Baker stopped returning their calls.
Yeah. So we missed out the entire.
We missed about the orange trees.
We don't even know that they're an old couple.
Yeah.
We just see a hand, a severed hand.
Nora, give me Doc Nelson.
Give me Doc Nelson.
They don't explain why he's upset.
Also, they cut out Doc leaving the place, going there.
Also-
left in this town.
Is the general already there?
General's not. I think he was only.
I
mentioned
think
once.
they're just cutting him out.
Yeah.
People are dying.
So he's not eating turkey in this
I
one.
have a right to know.
I'm leaving. This is fucking bullshit.
I think it's great up to now, apart from why cut out the head
Yeah.
hitting the rock
Yeah.
and the brains.
Yeah.
spattering
Honestly,
out.
I think I actually prefer this version so far.
It doesn't make any sense, though.
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't, but it goes by quicker.
Let's go find him.
You're obviously not a fan.
Mm-mm.
You know where
Like,
the
I
door
don't know
is.
who these guys are.
I mean, I don't absolutely despise this film. I just find it very
It is boring.
because
Oh, I love this film.
without Rick Baker's special
Am I
effects,
the only one? I love it. I've got the lobby cards.
No, I know.
I had the paperbacks, but I sold them, so
Yeah.
not really. I don't love it that much, but
You don't love it that much that you'll keep the paper.
but I've got the Super 8, which I'm going to sell, so I don't love it that much.
Okay, they cut out the boyfriend dying in this.
Yeah.
Oh,
We have no idea who these people are.
Yeah, we're just thrown into these situations. Which, same in the...
Is that orange juice?
Yeah, it's just juices and meats and stuff.
is that milk?
Yeah,
What's that stuff dangling in the fridge?
That's from the melting man.
Oh,
That is the melting man.
okay. There's a famous still of a hand reaching out, and she's got a meat cleaver.
yeah. It's coming up. Unless they cut it.
Is it in the freezer?
There it is.
I like how that meat cleaver was in with like a hole puncher.
And like gears.
Yeah.
Just random crap.
Well, that's their junk drawer.
You don't have a junk meat cleaver?
No. Because if I had a meat cleaver, that'd be great.
Oh my God! Choppity chop.
There we go.
Is that the famous shot?
Yeah, that's a famous one. Yeah, we just saw it with the meat cleaver chopping his arm off. And now he's running around like, I don't know, it reminds me of the Black Knight from
Yeah.
Holy Grail.
I just chopped your arm off. No, you didn't.
Okay, this is something I've always wondered.
Come on, let's go.
You know, the director always claimed he was in on the joke, and he was directing a comedy, a black comedy.
Yeah, right.
And not a serious...
That's what
you
they
know.
all say.
That's what everyone says.
I think he had to know. Because there are scenes, you know, like his ear hanging off.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't do that in a serious
No.
horror film.
They did a bunch of reshoots without him too.
They did.
Yeah.
To make it more serious.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So he's right about
Yeah,
that then.
Oh, I guess so, then.
there is corroboration.
Because I know I'd read interviews and heard things online, and people weren't taking him seriously about not making the film as a serious horror film, but as a send-up. I also heard that he doesn't like to be associated with it anymore.
No,
He's distanced himself.
he wants to keep distance from it. I think he's like a writer now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They must have spent a lot of money building this set.
Okay, I like this part. Don't shoot him! No, don't. A man with one arm melting versus you with a shotgun, and you lose?
What part of his body's melting? I mean, inner organs?
But he's got one arm under his shirt.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's lucky he had that third
Don't
arm.
hurt him. Whatever you do, don't hurt the cop. Oh, shit.
Oh,
Oh, he's fried
is-
on the electric.
They stole that from Jaws.
I remember watching this, and that part really woke me up. I was like, oh, wow, he is just gone. He's for sure dead.
Yeah, he's dead.
Oh, look at those sparklers.
Dave. Steve.
What's he called? It's Steve West and Nelson.
Ted Nelson.
Not Judd
Dr.
Nelson.
Ted Nelson.
Dr. Ted Nelson. Well, Ted's hanging from a beam.
They stole that from Saturday Night Fever.
Oh, yeah.
Steve. And then he pulls him up after throwing him off.
How's he going to pull him up? His hands are all gooey and slippy slidey. That's technical terms.
He likes
slidey.
It is.
Yeah, very technical.
Yeah.
It
I
feels
learned that in
good.
a French lesson in Brazil in 1852. No, bad move. Who the hell
He's
are
the
you?
incredible melting man.
Yeah, you what? Why'd you shoot him in the fucking head for?
He's a cop.
Oh,
And he was walking towards him very slowly.
Non-threatening, pulling his hands out.
well, actually, they're not cops, are they? They're just security.
Yeah.
They
Well,
got their guard card.
Well, they want to be cops.
Oh, he's melting now.
And now we get...
Well, actually melting to death.
Yeah. This part...
He's very emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After he...
I'll get upset when his other eye falls out. That's the bit that gets me. It's like the end of Love Story, isn't it?
Looks like pizza.
Yeah.
Love story where... Love
Making me
please
hungry.
never having to say you're sorry. And that's the dumbest thing I ever heard of.
Please don't let his eyeball fall out. Uh-oh, it's falling.
Rick Baker's already left the theater at this point.
I imagine he's just asleep. Just like in the back row.
Oh, the eyeball
Kick-
just went.
Feet kicked up, just like...
But there is a twist.
There is.
Yeah.
That's an awesome set.
Whoa.
He melted.
And there's a janitor throwing all the
It's a one-man
melty
job.
bits away.
He's probably just
Not
like,
much
who the
fanfare.
fuck left this shit out? God damn
Kubrick
it.
could be like, take 57, take 50. Oh, 90.
Wait, what was the
57.
twist?
Well, it's in the book and in the film. The twist is that they had what was it? Was it Saturn? Mission to Saturn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were hiding this from the public because they didn't want to know. They didn't want the public to know that it would result in Mr. Melty Man. And at the end of the film, you heard them sending another guy up into space. Obviously, he's going to come back as Mr. Melty Man too. So you could have had a sequel. So there you go. That was Super 8. What do you think of the Super 8? Yay!
Not good.
Hey.
I think I prefer some of it more over the full-length film.
Yeah.
Just the only thing I wish they kept was, okay, I'll say for you, the general eating the turkey, because
Thank you.
that is
Thank you.
really funny, because it's like he's eating this whole turkey, And by the time
that's right. Yeah.
by the time he's killed, I think like half of it's gone.
I don't even remember him being killed. I just remember that turkey.
Anyway, and
I blame the editor because I feel like I wasn't able to become emotionally attached to any of the characters. He didn't set anybody up. He started in the middle. We didn't know who these people were. Then they die. We don't care. He should have done the intro and then the death. Intro, death. Intro, death.
for me, I never got emotionally invested in anybody because I'm just sitting there watching Dr. Ted Nelson.
What's wrong with
going
you?
all over, being like,
What about the elderly couple?
You're
the elderly
an
couple.
unemotional
Actually,
person.
I am sort of invested in.
Yeah.
So you,
And they were funny
Yeah,
in
they
the
were
original.
funny.
Yeah.
That's the thing. They
Stealing
were super
oranges or
funny.
lemons.
But you've only
or
got
something?
16 minutes.
Yeah.
But why? I can understand, not having time to set up characters and everything. And a film like this, you just want all the best bits. And they did. They had the nudity. They had all the gore. But the only bit, why? Why did
The
they
head.
cut out the head?
The
best
absolute
smashing
best-
on the rock.
The absolute best bit is
Yes,
gone.
of the entire movie. That's
Yeah.
the bit everyone remembers.
Can you cut that into the podcast now?
That and the final sequence.
What, that section?
Yes.
Could do.
Pause for a little editing.
I think like the other greatest part is
They're actually rewinding the film. I'm just explaining. Like the projector's still running, and we're rewinding it. And
Oh god, it's on fire. Oh jeez.
oh god, we got to evacuate.
Oh,
we got to
oh,
evacuate.
fuck.
We got to evacuate. Okay, never
there we
mind.
go. So it's fully rewound, and we'll take it off the projector, and we're going to put it into its box. This beautiful box.
That is a nice art on there.
Yeah, it is. Very nice.
Close up of the melting man.
The incredible
back-
melting man.
the-
16 minutes of hardcore fun.
Yeah, sure.
And the back is the side profile of him, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a side profile.
Yeah. So, anything to add? Anything?
I think overall, you take out the melting man from the Incredible Melting Man, you're left with a very boring film.
Get out.
That's
Just leave.
okay.
I agree.
You do?
The bits with the any
What is wrong? No, go on. I'll let you talk.
Any
No, it's a free
creature-
society.
bits are
You can
great.
talk, and
but
no one will
then
interrupt.
I
Like,
really
what
appreciate.
interrupt?
it.
Oh.
Shh, let him talk. Anyway,
I forgot what I was saying.
I'll go on.
it's very boring.
Oh yes, that.
Really? You found it
I
boring?
mean, except for the 16 minutes is. I mean, it's snappy.
It's efficient.
But the original film, there's just a lot of people sitting and talking about going somewhere, and then they go somewhere, and then they don't find the melting man, so then they go back, and then they're like, we should really find the melting man. Oh, let's go somewhere again.
And meanwhile, the melting man, which honestly are some of the great
Yeah,
great
then we
points.
cut to the
When he's-
melting man.
When he's walking and it's like the goo is just sticking everywhere, you're kind of like, okay, this is just great effects.
That's a gooey boy.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a gooey boy right there.
And then like when he goes after people, you're sort of like, oh, what's gonna happen to the fishermen? What's gonna happen to the kids? Because there's a scene that's gone from this where the kids are playing hide and seek and they're like just cussing each other out, and it's pretty funny. And then the girl sees the melting man and she's like, oh my god, that's great.
Just starts.
Well, that's one of the tricky things. I mean, I must admit, it's not one of the best edited Super 8 condensed versions. And it's difficult. The approach that a lot of these condensed versions, the approach is often one of two. One is we'll try and have the whole movie in 16 minutes if it's 400 film.
Yeah.
Or sometimes they just pick a particular scene, so they don't even attempt to show the entire movie. They just say have a scene with the kids.
Yeah.
So they might not even have a setup. They'll just have the kids playing hide and seek, and then he turns up and his ears hanging off and all that kind of thing.
Is there a Star Wars version?
Oh yeah, the Star Wars, yeah, and that came out. Star Wars is they do particular scenes, so so the 400 foot or 200, either 200 foot, and it's basically it's a scene where they're just leaving the.
Death Star?
No, the
Tatooine.
canteen. Yeah,
Oh,
Tatooine.
So
Is
so
it
there isn't
Tatooine?
a
Tatooine.
16-minute Super 8 version of Star Wars out there somewhere.
Oh yeah, there's lots of them. Yeah, there's that, and then there's that's one where they leave Tatooine and they're in the spaceship Millennium Falcon. Off they go, and then they get followed by the TIE fighters. bang, bang, bang. TIE fighter explodes. They all go, yay, and then they're off, and that's the end of that version.
Actually, the TIE fighter sequence comes when they flee the Death Star. In that sequence, they are intercepted by 2 Star Destroyers, and they must, fly away from them.
You fucking nerd.
I mean, no, my point is, I think, we have to put this in the context of other movies that were coming out in this format that had to be condensed.
Oh, yeah. It's very tricky.
Whatever,
Oh, no,
minutes
yeah.
down to 16. How would they have made those choices with Star Wars? What were the choices made with this? But I think that just the experience of watching it on a projector, spooling it, even though it was, rewound the back the wrong way, is fun and adds to it. And, it allows you to forgive a lot of the issues with the print and the edit.
Yeah.
It's fun no matter what.
Yeah.
And some of these edits were, I've got, at some future date, we'll watch Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh, boy.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, it's in the cupboard. And some of these edits were supervised supervised by famous people. Close Encounters, the 400-foot version, was supervised by Spielberg. That's how important they were.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't. A lot of them weren't just thrown out and just,
Do you have any idea what was the last year that they did this?
I don't know in terms of the cut downs. In terms of full length features, there are companies like Darren, the British company. They were releasing full length. You see, once the VHS market overtook the Super 8 market for general consumers, then the companies that like Darren, those companies started only focusing mainly on feature films for the collector market. It's the same thing that's happening now with records and Blu-rays.
Mm-hmm.
The majors don't bother, and so the smaller companies, the boutique companies, which Darren was a Super 8 boutique company, and there were similar ones in the all over the world. Mainly Germany produced a lot. You get a lot of feature films. That's what they did. They specialized in feature films. So, things don't really change the way industries move, like DVDs, Blu-rays. They're no longer for the mass market. They're now specialized.
It would be interesting to know, what was the last
I don't know for the
film that they did this
like
for.
400 foot. I don't know. You probably.
I would guess it was somewhere around 82 or 3.
I'm trying to think of the titles. Raiders was kind of a big one. That was 80. It's got to be
81.
early 80s. It's got to be early 80s.
Yeah.
Well, when did VHS really take over?
I think 84.
83, 84.
So it would have been round about that time
Yeah.
that people were changing.
Well, for the next episode, let's find that out. What was the last film to be released on Super 8?
One is the short version and the full length.
Yeah.
Do you know any of the last full lengths, or
like
a big one? What would be a big one?
I know this. Darren were doing everything: Titanic, Terminator 2.
Wait, they did Titanic?
Yeah.
So that was 97.
Damn, yeah.
I mean,
For a collector's market,
you
I
can
suppose.
get all the Pierce Brosnan. I think most of the Pierce Brosnan Bonds. And then what they did once that market started shrinking, they were doing for a long time. They were doing trailers, so you can still. I've got the Lord of the Rings, one of the Lord of the Rings films trailers. Scope
Animated?
no,
Or-
No,
Oh,
the
okay.
Peter Jackson.
the Who,
Right? Peter
What,
Jackson.
who?
Peter Jackson.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said Kenneth.
Kenneth?
How dare you say Kenneth?
Lord of the
I'm gonna
Rings,
edit that,
directed
so you
by
definitely do say
Kenneth.
Kenneth. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I apologize. Anyway.
Okay, so that was a good one. Our first, The Incredible Melting Man, Super 8, 400 foot. Not sure which one we'll do next, but we have lots of really cool ones. So
Star Wars.
Star Wars
Yeah.
would be fun.
yeah,
I do want to add just one last thing to Melting Man. I think if this were back in the day, let's say they came to one of us and was like, "Hey, edit this down. What would you keep the same? What would you change?" I think the big thing we'd all change is the head crash sequence.
Yeah, the head.
We would add that definitely.
You gotta have that baby split open.
I'd probably stick with maybe 2 main sequences. Like just narratively, it was all over the place because you never it never built, did it? It didn't build. You didn't see the fisherman fishing and then the melting man coming towards him.
No.
Yeah.
And
You just see the head of the
you
fisherman.
just see the
No, you see him getting grabbed.
I don't
and-
think you do.
I
No,
didn't
you
see
do.
it.
I saw it. Like he gets grabbed,
Really?
and then it's just quick.
Well, that was quick then. If you
it's
did
so
see that.
quick. It's not.
But
even
yeah,
like-
I would have stuck to 2 or 3 scenes, and you do get, as we'll watch more of these, you do see, and there are. It all depends on the nature of the film. Some films are easier to edit narratively. You know, like a chase film, it's very easy to edit.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I would have just picked a couple of scenes, sequences, and just kept them. You know, fisherman and maybe the one with you know, the model.
Yeah. You would.
Yeah.
I would just throw the whole thing out and just have every scene with the general, and it would just be the general. 16 minutes of him. I might even just take the scene of him eating the turkey and loop it.
I'm just imagining.
For 16
So you'd
minutes.
want your Super 8 business to just go down the pan.
Listen,
I know,
I'm in
I-
it for the art, okay, not for the money.
Yeah.
I want to say I'm imagining like instead of the Incredible Melting Man, it's the Incredible General and the Turkey Dinner.
Yes.
Okay.
Like that.
Well, on that, I think we could say goodbye to the Incredible Melting Man, and
Goodbye.
thanks for
Goodbye.
listening.